Why, hello, everybody. This is Mary Glass. Yeah. And we are now, believe it or not, in a new year, 2023. Yeah. Time is moving on, not playing with us. We got to get on it, which is why I'm here today. And I'm here looking at February the 11th of 2023. With a very auspicious day coming forth on Valentine's. Yeah, I did say Valentine's. Oh boy, yes I did. And I'm saying Valentine's because that's a day that a judge, I did say a judge, but let's put some specificity there. Judge Brian Mellon of the Bedford Municipal Court in Bedford, Ohio, made an unfair decision. I did say that. I paid for what you see at the top, retaliatory eviction. Cost me $650. It was for the purpose of addressing a conspiracy that had run its course through the court of Judge Brian Mellon. And it had done that on the basis of the judge not doing his homework. I did say that. He did not do due diligence. He didn't do what the people had sent him for. He's there to do due diligence, yes, and due diligence is to see that the people's business is done. He was elected to do that. The people said, come, we will put you in charge of that, so that when people like Mary Glass come and purchase a jury trial, you see that it's done correctly. You don't take favor. You don't issue biases. You don't make statements that are derogatory about the plaintiff or the defendant. In this case, Mary Glass is a named defendant. Named person that is the defendant because two plaintiffs. And by the way, folks, the shocker of this, these two people are relatives of mine. Well, yeah, I tell you the truth. Relatives are interesting. This is my baby sister. I washed her behind, along with the 3 others that was in our family, because I was the oldest. We had a marker that our mother, who was a teacher, educator, speaker, a person who believed in helping others. In fact, her famous statement was, you haven't lived until you help someone. My baby sister has, and I found this out in the last year, a sibling problem. Sibling problem? Yeah. She had a problem with me. And it dated back to when we were at home. At home is, of course, where we were reared. And at that place, we had an understanding. It is most important that you do due diligence, that you are respectful. You do not do anything to mar your family's interest of training for you. Therefore, you had home training, and you didn't do things to show that you didn't. But this was a little deeper, it seemed. I don't know today the essence of it, but it came out of her mouth that she did not like me in the last year. This is all part of this conspiracy. That's why I'm mentioning that. But most important is that my sister is deranged. And because she is deranged, she has launched this phenomenal shocker. Now that meant I had to play cards, folks. Now I'm an old Southern girl from Tennessee. Come on now. Certain things I don't play. Whether it's with Judge Brian Mellon or my sister Patricia or her husband James. That's why I went to the court. It had gone too far. It still is. The judge has rendered wrongful decisions. But our justice system, civil rights is where I'm coming, folks, allows us to step forward and do certain things if we can. Now, $650 is not a small amount to me. I don't have $600 just floating around, uh, or even much lesser than that floating around. But I take issue to certain things. They're important to all of us. And when we allow them to run rampant and be disrupted, no matter who it is, did you hear me? No matter who it is. And in this case, it's Brian Mellon, the judge of the Bedford Municipal Court. We went for quickly. We went for status. I paid for it, the jury trial, on December 29th, 2022. This was a hearing, status hearing, on this past Tuesday, February the 7th. It was one of the days, arbitrary, capricious days. I said, yes, arbitrary and capricious days chosen by the judge. And he had also chosen Valentine's Day, 7 days later. Now, I'm not a judge. I'm not an attorney. I'm not a person who is known, who knows correction about the laws. But I have a good understanding of when it comes 1 plus 1 is 2. When you start trying to make it 3, 1, 5, and all these other things, you got to come forward with some answers. Now, if I pay you $650 to get started on them, that's what Mary Glass will do. And that's what she did. Now, when I came for the status, though, the judge put some skin in the game that was not necessary, that was inappropriate, that was biased, disruptive, and against his oath of office, which is to do no harm. The people elected him to do due diligence and provide justice. He's gotten out of order, making statements he should not say, and most of all, not doing his homework. We pay enough money to the Bedford, whether it's federal money, state money, municipal money, lower court, county, or city. Enough money goes in there in a joint system to help ensure that he has folks, normally through a city clerk's office. By the way, Tom Day, if you look behind my hair here, or head, you'll see Tom's name. Tom is of the city clerk. Tom didn't do his job either. And I wrote and told them about how they weren't doing a job, but they didn't do anything about it. They do like many folks do. They just evade it or avoid it or don't pay any attention to it. It'll go away, or if it don't go away, so what? It'll cost so much there after. Now, the judge really went kind of berserk here. He wouldn't listen to my plea. I paid for it December 29th, 2022. What did you pay for? I paid for a jury trial. And it's in regards to what you see behind me, retaliatory eviction. These people had come together with him and had lied and still lying and giving misconcepts on a 3 and 30-day eviction. There was no follow-through in finding out the justifications of what was being said. Shocker to me. It started on my 77th birthday. Yeah, that's when my sister thought it was slick to come out while I was getting in the car to go to Walmart to get my meds on my birthday, 77 years old, to present me with a 3-day eviction. Wrongfully submitted, all kinds of crazy things on it, and not properly administered according to the rule of law. Now, I'm pretty high on the rule of law because that kind of boy is supposed to help us all. Pay attention here, Mary Glass, and I want you all to pay attention because I'm getting to the end point on this. Bought it. Do you hear me? Bought the privilege. December 29th, 2022, for a jury trial. Judge Brian Mellon, Bedford Municipal Court, called for February 7th, a status report. My understanding, not being an attorney, not knowing the law, I'm not a student of the law, but then I don't have to be. I do have common sense, and I mean good old country, like Tennessee style, Jeanette Glass style, Bonz's Glass style. Get it any day of the week. That said, since I did according to law, I paid the $650. It granted me the privilege to have a jury trial. So when I walked in the door and all I had been presented was the fact of a status with no definition of anything from this judge or from the staff attorney, who, by the way, didn't even step forward to appear on the 7th. Went into hiding. However, he's the guy that I had written to just the day before to say, why hadn't I heard from him? Why hadn't he stepped forward to have me prepared, had the court prepared? He took the avenue of we'll talk tomorrow if you want to, but it's BS. I did say that. BS. It's BS because he didn't follow through. We pay him. He's called a staff attorney for Bedford Court. Didn't show up on the status. He probably was there, folks. I just didn't know it, and he didn't make himself known. I tell you who did make himself known, and I'll give him his props. I don't have no problem with it. That was the chief bailiff, a Mr. Ploff. And I said Mr. because he acted like he had some home training. He has ethics. He has morals. He has professional endeavors. And that he made himself known to me by helping me with the elevator. That was the first. And then I came back to him and I asked him for records. You listen to the audio, you can see what I'm saying is Johnny on the spot. But what really got me was Judge Brian Mellon would not authorize additional time in the status report. He told me I had to show up 7 days later. That's what I'm talking about today. I'm not liking it one bit. It's wrong. That's mainly. He's out of order. He failed his oath of office. He failed do no harm. He forgot that he has a role to play, and it is not what he played. He played wrong trumps, folks, on February the 7th. He was mighty disrespectful. And I can prove it because I can have the audio, I can have you hear the audio record keeping of the court proceedings, where I was asking him, give me a chance. I shouldn't have had to do any of that, by the way. It was a status report. I wasn't ready. That's the purpose to say what I was trying to do. Wanted an attorney. I hadn't gotten one. And with all the things that had to be done, even though I'm not an attorney, I do understand. As I told him, I understand about law and order, but I also have an understanding of certain things that I had to prepare for the jury trial, which meant that was going to ask my fellow man to come to court, whether it was 6 of them or 12 of them. And they had to be processed correctly. Not just let them just come in there, let them know what time it is, why they're coming, what was up for stake. This takes time. Certainly 7 days wasn't going to give it to me. I was just shocked, first and foremost, to hear somebody, Judge Brian Millen, that we have at this court, saying that I must show up 7 days from there and have my court, the one I paid for, the $650 in 7 days, Valentine's Day. I'm supposed to be prepared with discovery of all kinds, the lay, character, and expert witnesses that I have. Come on now. That I was supposed to have subpoenaed many folks, at least 15, when I say that, many folks. These are folks who have an agenda. And what I mean by agenda, we all have an agenda. You have to give folks time. You can't just run up in there, oh, I need you to appear in court on such and such. I mean, you have to be sensible with this. I wasn't going to act like the judge, because he was devoid there of certain things. And he trumped his because he has sway. He has power. But I will speak to power in a minute. Because just having power, or we have given you power and you're misusing it, we got to deal with you. That's why the judge has to be dealt with. He's wrong. All these things need to be done, and he's telling me, and I haven't gotten an attorney or having problems with that, but I told him, I said in the right time, I'm not supposed to be so rushed. Give me time. Let me move to this. You haven't done your homework. You haven't even introduced me to what your process and procedures are. You were supposed to do that on the 7th, not come in here as gangbuster, telling me that I had 7 days and you were going to stick with that. And oh, by the way, folks, the judge says, so you understand what time it is, Mary Glass. If you don't show up, I got a bench warrant. Yes, I did say that. Bench. BENCH. Warrant. WARRANT. That I sent after you lickety split. What are we talking here? What kind of crazy stuff going on here? So, folks, this is the first. Kind of lengthy. I want to give you a point here, but I need you to know I'm The day that this started, status report was February the 7th. Today is February the 11th. Valentine's Day is the day of the trial that the judge said, I'm not prepared for that. I had to call him out on it. That doesn't make sense at all. But that receipt you see behind me guarantees me the opportunity for that jury trial that is Ohio law. It comes as a result of me pressing the claim of a retaliatory eviction that the two people I mentioned earlier, who have one for sure has a mental disorder going on big time, and she can lie faster than you can blink your eye. But folks, that's because my sister is trapped in the mental illness, whether it's bipolar, hallucination, paranoia, schizophrenia, whatever it may be. Holding her tight, and as it holds her tight, she's messing up. She's defamed me. She's engaged in a bit of forgery to get things right. Conspiracy. She and her husband. I was just shocked each time these things have come. First one being is her on my birthday, 77th birthday, as I said, walking out at the car there and handing me a 3-day eviction. Shocked. Asked her husband, did he know? He told me he didn't know nothing about it. But let me tell you, folks can be mighty codependent, and we all can lie, can't we? Because as time passed, recently when I listened to the audio of Bedford Court, my brother-in-law James lied like I don't know what. It's called perjury. He said they were charging me rent. I don't pay them any rent. I'm not a tenant. They're not landlords. We're family folks. Now there is a longevity with that because we all know what time it is as a family. A hell of a responsibility. I mentioned that a little bit. It's stronger than what the judge would be doing in talking about a bench warrant. They don't even get close to that with family dependency. So, this is Mary Glass. I will be back. I told you Valentine's Day is the day that Judge Brian Mellon said, I must hold the trial that I paid for, or a bench warrant. I don't know if before this isn't over, the judge's going to find that he's out of order. At least that's my position. You're out of order, Judge. You are out of order. And this is Hitting the Bench, Mary Glass Court. I'll be back, folks. Mary Glass. Today is February the 11th. I want you to think about it. On the credits of this YouTube, will give you an opportunity if you need to contact me. If you wish to stand on contacting Bedford Court, because there's only one more business day that's out there. Because this is supposed to take place Valentine's Day. I don't know, is this supposed to be a Valentine's a bad point coming through here? I don't know. But we're going to play trumps today.